That morning, in October 7th, I kept texting her and asked her if she's okay. And right after this, she tells me, Mommy, please pray for me.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Meaningful People Podcast. So happy that you are here. We have an incredible episode this week for you. Of course, this episode is sponsored by my dear friend Isaac Newman, L'zichar Nishmas, his mother, Chama Paramalkalea Basari Leib. Should be the schus of his mother's neshama, that all our hostages come home. That the episode today, we speak to Orly Gilboa, the mother of Daniella Gilboa, who is currently a hostage in Gaza, that she comes home. Mirza Shem B'Karav Mamish. I want to give a big thank you to Colel Chabad. You know, Colel Chabad, we had in our episode last week, and one of their donors actually reached out to us and said, you know what, I love the episode last week. I want to sponsor on your episode that people should download their Pushka app. So you look at the screen right now, if you're watching this, you see this is so easy to use, the Pushka app. I downloaded it from the App Store. I went ahead, made an account, and maybe it took 3 seconds, as you see. And before I dive in, before I do a podcast, you could just add $1, $5, $10, add it to a Pushka. Then when you're ready to empty your Pushka, you put in your credit card information, you empty your Pushka, and you give tzedakah. It's an incredible, revolutionary app. I love it. It's so easy to use. Thank you to the donor, Colel Chabad, that made that happen, that's sponsoring this episode. So you, my friends, can download the Pushka app. Hit the link in the show notes in the description of this episode and download the Pushka app today. Head to Pushka.cc/meaningful. That is Pushka.cc/meaningful. Of course, I want to give a big shout out to our friends you mentioned last week, which is Lifeshare, and many of you have signed up since then. Lifeshare is the ultimate safety net. Whether you have life insurance or not, which again, I'll reiterate, you need to have life insurance. It is the most responsible thing you can do is have life insurance, take care of your family. But Lifeshare is there for you as well. You pay a $40 annual fee to be part of a community and a $32 payment anytime someone passes away. You're part of an 8,000 to 10,000 person community that Lifeshare puts you in. You pay $32 anytime someone passes away, which God willing won't be that often. But what happens is that family who lost somebody will get a $250,000 instant payment within 72 hours of losing a loved one. No family should ever need those emergency campaigns, those emergency chesed fund campaigns that someone passed away and we need to raise the money tonight, tomorrow. Lifeshare is there for you. Whether you have insurance or not, you can be protected and you can protect others. So make sure to go ahead to the website lifeshare.community, that is lifeshare.community, and create an account today. I myself did, and I have life insurance. It's important to do. Hit the link in the bio of this episode. Head to Lifeshare and create your account today. This is backed by leading Rabbanim of Herschel Schachter, of Ephraim Goldberg, of Usher Weiss, and many more, of Eitan Feiner. Make sure you get this done for yourself today. In this episode, obviously, we sat down with Orly Gilboa, as mentioned. We spoke about what her and her family have gone through since October 7th. Their daughter was one of the observers. Famous video that has gone around of those 5 girls sitting there against the wall with the Hamas terrorists. A video came out in January, a propaganda video from Hamas of Daniela talking. It's a very emotional episode, speaking to her mother. And God willing, by the time this episode comes out, she'll be reunited with us all. But until then, here is this episode. You are listening to the Meaningful People Podcast.
The podcast featuring our nation's most impactful, influential,
and meaningful people. Orly, thank you so much for joining me today. I wish we could be speaking and meeting under better circumstances, but this is the situation. Before we get on and talk now about what you're going through, what your family is going through, what your daughter is going through, for our listeners, I think it's important to know who Daniela was, who Daniela is, and because sometimes people are davening and they're praying for her, and it's just a name. Can you tell us who Daniella Gilboa is?
Okay. First of all, the formal name of Daniela is Daniel. I mean, we answered the letter Hey in Hebrew and A in English to her name because the letter Hey, it's the God name. So we insert the the word, the letter Hey, so it will be more that God will guard her.
Right.
And so now she calls Daniela. I hope she already knows, because in every interview, especially in the radio, I mentioned that her new name is Daniela, so she knows that I'm speaking about her. And I hope maybe someone listened to one of the radio's interviews, or and told her, or if she heard herself. So she calls Daniela. Daniela, she's 20 years old. She became 24 months ago while she's in captivity. She's a very good daughter. I mean, since she was born, she always tried to make us be proud of her, and everything I ask her. She wasn't a rebel daughter, all her teenagers period. She was a very good daughter. She was very good in her studies. She graduated with good
grades.
Yeah, grades. And she likes very much music. She writes songs, and she playing the piano. And she sing also. She has a few songs that she recorded, but we don't publish it yet, because we are waiting for her to come and to publish it herself. She has a little sister, Noam. She's 15. That she always protected her, and always teach her a lot of things in music, and that's it. She has a boyfriend for almost 8 years.
Wow.
They met in the 7th grade in musical class, and since they met, they didn't separated. And he also a very miss her, and he also asked her to marry him while she was in captivity. It was occasion of bringing a Sefer Torah, Torah book, into our house. It was very big occasion with hundreds of people here from our neighborhood. And the rabbi told him, asked him, who is he? Because he saw him holding the Sefer Torah. And he asked him, who are you? And he said to him, I'm Daniela's boyfriend. So he asked him for how long? And when he said to him it was 7 years, then it was in the beginning of the captivity. And they asked him, and did you already ask her to marry you? So he told him, I didn't ask her yet. I plan to. So he told him, so just ask her, with all the, it was very a good atmosphere here, with all the Sefer Torah. And so he shouted to the sky and asked her, Daniela, will you marry me? And
wow.
So she has also a marriage proposal here waiting for her.
Yeah, that's really incredible. I want to, take you, I guess, to the days leading up to October 7th. It's in Israel. It was Chag. It was Yantif, and things were joyous. It's my understanding that Daniela was she was on service. She was on the army with the army. The days leading up, is there anything you can tell me about that? And then, of course, that awful day of October 7th, what you and your family went through.
Yeah, so the days before, Daniela was in a vacation from the army. So she was here with us, and we went to a family vacation in Jerusalem. We were in the Kotel and all the places in Jerusalem. We had a very good time there. Then we came back from Jerusalem, and there was we went to see Bruno Mars in his very big show here in Tel Aviv, and it was very fun time. I mean, we just sang all his songs, and wow, it was very, very good time. And the day after, we drove her to the base, me and my husband, and she came back to the base the day after. It was 2 days, before the October 7th.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a very good week before the October 7th. And in that morning, in October 7th, we just woke up at 6:30 to the alarms, missile alarms. We just, in the first moments, we didn't understand what is going on. We didn't expect it. And then my husband told me to come to the safe room in our house.
Where exactly in Israel do you live?
We live in Petach Tikva. It's a suburb of Tel Aviv.
Yeah.
In the middle of Israel. So we went into the safe room. We called our daughter Noam to come with us. And after a few minutes, I just knew that I have to call to Daniela to understand what is going on there, where she was. She served a military base near the border, near Gaza border. It's something around 400 meters from the border. So I understood that if we have here missiles and a lot of mass, so of course there is also there. So I sent her a message and asked her how she is. And after a few minutes, she answered, "Mommy, we hear a lot of gunshotting and bombs, and because I know that she's near the border, I assume that she talking about it behind the border. I didn't realize that she's talking about
like outside her base.
Yeah." So I kept texting her and asked her if she's okay, and it takes her a few minutes, and she told me, "Mommy, we have penetration to the base." And right after this, she tells me, "Mommy, please pray for me." And in this moment, I understand all what is going on. It's not something, of course, the penetration it's not something regular. And her saying to me, "Mommy, please pray for me," I just, understood in this moment that I have to call her. Until this moment, I just text her. And I'm trying to call her, and there is no answer. I kept sending her messages, but she didn't answer me. And until 8:15 this morning, I keep sending her messages and no answering. And at 8:15 in the WhatsApp, you see just one V. Yeah. You understand that in this moment the telephone is not in. It's not working anymore. And now we understand that at something around 8 in the morning, the base was also already taken.
So for you, your daughter, your family, you're at home in Petach Tikva, and you're hearing about through your daughter, through the messages that she sends. And like you said, it's extremely rare for your daughter to text you, like, pray for me, and for a penetration to happen. Where did your mind go in that moment, knowing what was going on in Israel, knowing how this was an escalation that you haven't really seen before, and that your daughter was right there? Where did your mind automatically go? Was it that this is it? Was it that they're taking hostages?
In those moments, I don't understand exactly. We are trying to understand what is going on. We start to see in the television that there is a penetration to not only the base, but all this area of near the border. But I have in these moments the knowing that she's in a military base, so she is. I assume that she's going to be inside a place that there is no they can't reach to her. Right. I mean, I thought she's in a safe room, in a safe place, and in a few minutes the military come there and take over the situation. But the hours, we trying to get reach to her, and there is no answer, as I said. And we are trying to get more knowings, from people there, from the commanders, from everyone that can bring us any news. But there is no one knows nothing. And after a few hours, we hear that all the girls, all the observers are in a safe place. I mean, they are in a bunker. That's why they can't be in touch. And we are trying to be optimistic. I mean, that they are really in a safe room and everything will be okay. But something around 7:00 in the evening, we understand that military took over the base, and we understand that there are two girls that were with Daniela. They were in the hospital. And when I asked why they're in the hospital, they told me that they injured from smoke. And I'm saying to myself, what smoke? They need to be in a safe place, in a bunker. And then I understand that maybe it's a very hard fight or combat.
Right,
there was a very hard combat there. And then we understand that everyone that was rescued from the base maybe is injured, so he's in the hospital. And if it's okay, so he has to call to his parents. And then I understand that if Daniela doesn't call me, so, the thought... the thinkings are for the worst case. Yeah. And how hours are going by and I still don't hear from her. And then, I understand that she's not alive. I mean, this is the thought that we are thinking in those moments. I'm not going to sleep in that night. Yeah. And we are awake all night and trying to get more knowledge about what happened there. And in all the time, I imagine what I'm saying on my daughter's grave. I mean, this is what I going through those hours. And just only the day after, I mean, on Sunday, something around noon, Daniela's boyfriend, Roy, takes one of the videos that Hamas released of hostages. And there is a video that you see 3 hostages, female hostages, Daniela's friends from the base are taken in a military jeep. And you see them on the back seat of a military jeep. So he took this video and he made it be in slow motion. And when he did it, you can see Daniela's head. I mean, this part of her head with a little ponytail. We in this moment we recognize her and we know that it's Daniela. So you know how much it's weird to say something weird to say. I was glad that my daughter is kidnapped because the other options is worst. And so from that moment, we understand she's alive, and trying
Yeah.
to understand what we're doing now. We've been a few days in shock, but we were glad, that she's alive.
We'll be right back to this episode, but first, a quick word from my friend Yoel Gold, Rabbi Yoel Gold. An incredible Tisha Baav film coming up this year, and the name is Coming Home. Coming Home. There's so many different meanings. We need our hostages to come home. We need all the Jews around the world to come home. Everyone in Chutz La'aretz, we need to come home to Eretz Yisrael. And we all know Hashkifa, Rabbi Yoel Gold's films are the most watched Tisha Baav films in the entire world. Over 1 million people last year in 25 hours went to Hashkifa.com. And this year, I had a little bit of a sneak peek. The stories in this film are unbelievable. It is truly amazing. It's truly my honor to be able to mention this film on this podcast. Make sure you head to hashkifa.com. You hit the link in the show notes of this episode and get ready to sign up to watch that film. Coming Home, Coming Home, Coming Home. It's something that we all are striving for and yearning for. And Rabbi Yoel Gold is bringing us an amazing film this Tisha B'Av. Shemer Hashem will be a yantif. But this Tisha B'Av, regardless, Rabbi Yoel Gold has an amazing film for us. Also want to mention a quick word from my friends at Mart. Yes, you've seen their amazing red cups on our podcast, but I want to tell you something about Mart. The 90s are coming up, and many of you are meat lovers. You love meat, you love fleischiks, and maybe you're lactose intolerant. Well, Mart has the most amazing options for you. It is the vegan meat crumble. You're making lasagna, you're making tacos, generally, some fleishik items in there. Well, don't worry. Mart has you covered. They have Parav, gluten-free, high in protein. It's great for tacos. It's great for pizza. It's great for toppings and burritos and whatnot. In your local grocery, you make sure to check out these products from Mart. Yeah, I imagine it's a very tough place to be emotionally, because you're seeing your daughter on camera. You're feeling probably the relief, like you're saying, that she's alive, but probably at the same time, you're understanding that she's in the hands of the most brutal people, or it's honestly, you can't even call them people, most brutal things in the world. Mm-hmm. So at that point, what becomes the job? Is there, okay, we talk to the army could tell us, we talk to the government, our daughter's on a terrorist military jeep going into Gaza. What do you and your family do from that point on?
So as I said, it took us for a few days, just to be in shock. We've been here at our home and saw TV, all the pictures and all the horrible things that you saw in the television. And after I think 3 or 4 days, I'm telling to myself, I can't just stay here and see television all day. And I decide to just go to the families, for the families forum. It's a hostage families forum. It's an organization that, was established a few days after the October 7th. And I'm deciding to go there. And, to see whatever I can to do, to just deal with the situation and to see what I can do, to make it, to make my daughter come back home as early as I can. So I go there and, I meet a lot of families that also come to the families forum. And we just do a lot of meetings and media interviews and, a lot of people that come to the families forum. We meet them. There was a delegation of a very big delegation of rabbis from North America that was also there, and I met them. So we are doing a lot of appointments, and after 1 month, I decide to gather with 5 families of the women soldiers and we decide to be one group, and we are starting to make a lot of appointments with decision makers. A lot of people, and trying to do whatever we can, to demand them to,
I wonder,
to
you
bring
mentioned
them
that
back.
you joined as a group with these people, these, I guess they called the 5 observers.
Yeah.
What was the job of your daughter? What was the job in the army? And I imagine that, I think I remember hearing that this was perhaps the first base that was taken over by Hamas. This was the first attack of that day.
Yeah.
So what was
Because,
your daughter's position?
Okay, yeah. So as I mentioned, the base is very near the border. I mean, they just passed the border and they are in Nahal Oz base. And my daughter, she's an observer. Observer means that she sits in front of a camera that is on the border. There are a lot of cameras there. I mean, cameras that through this camera we can see what is going on behind the border.
Right.
And she can't move her eyes from this camera for 4 hours every time she's in a mission. And she knows every rock in this place. I mean, they know exactly what is going on there. And in the few months before October 7th, she and their friends, the other observers, telling their commanders about what they see there, and they can see the Hamas practicing. They see a lot of mess there, a lot of people that come near the border, making a lot of noise and fire and. Something that it's not very often. I mean, this kind of things that they are seeing, they tell their commanders that something is going on, pay attention. But unfortunately, as we know today, the commanders, I don't know what they do with this knowledge. This is, I think, one of the most, terrible things that happened. It's because they didn't hear them.
Right.
If they can, just pay attention for all they're saying, maybe there wasn't October 7th.
Right. And obviously, a video came out from that base with your daughter in the video and 4 other girls. And there was potentially one of the most passed around videos that we've seen where the terrorists are talking to them and the girls are just sitting there in despair. When you saw that video, when the other mom's parents saw that video of their children, what was your reaction?
First of all, I didn't see all the video because I couldn't see it. Before we publish it, when the army gave it to us, I asked my brother to see it because I couldn't do it for my soul. But I saw parts of this video, the part that you saw Daniela in the shelter. I saw a picture from there, not video, and I saw the video that she was lead to the jeep when she's jumping on one leg. This video, the army show it to me, I think something around 2 months after October 7th. Because I asked him to show me videos from the military base because I want to see my daughter condition. Because first the army told me that she's okay, that she wasn't injured. And then when hostages came back from Gaza, one of the hostages met 2 girls from these 5. And they said to her that Daniela is injured. So then I was very aggressively even asked the military to give me a photo or a video from the day because I want to see her condition. And then they show me this part of the video. And I remember I didn't go to sleep a week after, because every time I closed my eyes, I saw her. I saw her face in the shelter. This face that you saw in the video, face that for someone that see the death in front of his eyes, and it was enough for me. So I didn't see all the movie, all this video that we publish, but I just I heard the sounds from this video, and it was enough for me. To hear all these terrorists talking to the girls and between themselves, it was hard enough.
Yeah.
I agree with you that it was one of the hardest videos that was published, because you see these young women, you understand, you need to understand that what you see in this movie, when you saw them lying on the ground, you can't see in the movie, but 16 of her friends are dying in front of them. I mean, you can't see it in the movie, but you need to understand all the situation there. There are 16 of her friends dying there, and they are lying there on the ground for 2 hours before they take them to Gaza.
Wow.
So it's a very hard situation. Yeah.
So just to repeat what you said, your daughter's sitting there with a few of her friends, with the terrorists in the room, and they're waiting to be transported into Gaza. But what you don't see on the video is over a dozen of her fellow members of the army are dying from the injuries that they inflicted. I did not know that.
Yeah. I understand that they also made you need to understand the situation there was that the terrorists go into this shelter, and first of all they just shooting everyone. They go into and shooting everyone, and then they throwing 2 grenades into this place. It's a very small place. It's not a big one. And after that, whenever there was people that survived these 2 attacks, they take him to Gaza. It was all just 7 girls that was survived, and the other girls that was there, there was some of them were dying, so they shot them. And they shot him in front of our girls' eyes. I mean, it's a very, very tough situation there. I mean, whatever someone talk to me and tell me, it's almost 300 days that my daughter is there, and I'm saying all these 300 days began with this horrible day. I mean, just these things that she saw there, it's it's very hard and horrible. And then she goes to Gaza, and she's there for almost 300 days. So I don't know how a person can, survive this.
Yeah, you had mentioned that some of the rescued hostages said they had seen your daughter and they knew that she was injured. Was there anything else that a rescued hostage or a hostage that was released in a deal, did they tell you anything about your daughter's mental state? Did she say anything? Was she, anything else, or just the fact that she had injuries?
The hostages that came back, they didn't see Daniela. They saw Liri and Agam.
Okay.
It's two of the 5 girls that was 2 of the 4 girls that was taken in this jeep together. And these 2 girls said to the hostage that saw them that they were separated after 2 or 3 days because Daniela and Karina was injured, and those 2 wasn't injured, so they separate them. And this is the only thing that I know about Daniela. After a while, I understood that one of the Thai hostages that was released saw also Daniela.
Mm-hmm.
He is the only one that saw Daniela, but he didn't. He wasn't with her. I mean, he just saw her when they moved them from one place to another. So he saw her in one of these occasions, but not. He didn't sit with her and speak with her, and so I didn't understand any of her condition. And when he saw her with a traditional outfit, that when they moved them from one place to another, they dressed them like a Palestinian woman from here to their legs. I mean, he just saw her eyes. I mean, he didn't see her condition or how she looked.
I want to take you to January when I believe a video had surfaced that Hamas took of your daughter Daniela. Obviously, they made her say certain things on video, pressuring the government. But in that video, which wasn't released until many months later, I imagine that it was brought to you in January and you had an opportunity to see it. This is another proof of life of your daughter. You're seeing her talking this time. Who did you see in that video? Was that the Daniela that you knew and remembered and or was that not her?
Actually, she surprised me. I mean, I saw a very strong girl. I knew that she's strong, but in this situation, you don't know what to expect.
How could she have the energy, right? Like how?
Yeah. But I saw her. I saw she's acting. I mean, I told you earlier that she likes to sing, but she also likes to act. And I recognize that she's acting in those moments. And, she looks very, very strong for me in the first time I saw her. And I think everyone who saw this video, but, after days, we got psychological opinion about this, about her condition in this video. And the psychologist said that she's not a very good condition there mentally. I mean, so you understand that she's acting. She's a good actor, as I said, and she's acting like she's a strong woman. She is, but I think in those circumstances, it's very hard to be strong. This video it was good to see her. I mean, it was the first time and the only time that I saw her from captivity. And it was very good for me, I mean, to see her. But, when we gave the permission to publish it months ago, I told everyone, it's a video from 7 months ago. I mean, I don't know what is her condition right now after 7 months from this video. So,
I mean, we're all hoping and praying every single day that she's doing well and that we're going to see her very, very soon. It's interesting because, my podcast, we generally are speaking to religious people. And we all know and we feel, and many of us have been to Israel and I've spoken to many parents of hostages that what happened is unbelievable. But we live in a world today, especially here in America, where people are changing the facts of what happened on October 7th. They'll say, oh, that didn't happen to women. Oh, what you said about them being killed like that, no, that's not what happened. And yet people in the streets protesting and taking the side that you never thought in a million years that they could possibly take. If you were able to talk to those people who are denying what your daughter has been through and is going through right now, what would you tell them?
Wow, it's a very good question. I think, us as a Jews and an Israeli, we don't need to make a propaganda or to just say things that didn't happen. We just published every movie and everything from that day. You saw a lot of families that were killed in that day. You saw the picture. I mean, what mind can just
justify it?
Justify it. I don't know. I just say that I have also 2 cousins that are kidnapped, except of my daughter.
Wow.
I have 2 cousins that kidnapped. One of them was murdered in captivity, Yossi Sharabi, and his brother, Eli Sharabi. All his family was killed in that morning. I mean, his wife and 3 daughters were killed in that moment, in that morning, and he was taken into Gaza. And I don't know who can just, say it's not true. I mean,
unfortunately,
I don't know, but like people says that the Holocaust didn't happen. I mean, there is people that just say things, and I prefer not to, not to think about them.
Yeah.
I prefer to think that most of the people are people that they have mind. They know. They can understand what is the true and what is wrong and what is good in this world. That's it.
If somehow, some way you were able to get a message to your daughter, Daniela, right now, what would you want to tell her? What would you want her to know from you right now?
That although it's been a long time, I mean, I'm sure that she was sure that she will be back in a few days. I mean, like I thought, in the few days, I was sure that it will take a few days and she's here. So I'm saying, although it's been a long time since then, and you are still in captivity, just know that we are doing everything. I mean, here in Israel, abroad, everything we can to bring you back, and it will happen. It will happen soon. I can assure in it. I can be sure in it, and please don't lose faith and be strong. And we love you, and we are waiting for you. And it's going to be soon. Just don't give up.
She has a marriage to come back to.
Yeah. Marriage and loving family and a lot of friends that are waiting for her. All our, all Am Israel is waiting for her.
And God willing, I look forward to coming and we can all celebrate by her wedding very, very soon. We'll be right back to this episode of the podcast. Tisha Baav is coming up, and you might be worried about fasting. August 12th to 14th, you make sure that you can fast with ease. That's why you call my dear friends at Bleu Concierge. You make sure you have your IV hydration infusions, the IV drops. I myself have done these drips. They are amazing. They come with multiple different vitamins, your choice. They come to your house. Top-notch nurses, they get it done. They treat symptoms induced by fasting, headaches, nausea, lightheadedness, fatigue. It's great for someone who's pregnant, nursing, postpartum moms, people who are in general are weak fasters. You make sure you head to blueconcierge.com. You hit the link in the show notes of this episode and message them on WhatsApp. They have the most amazing team at Bleu Concierge. Not only do they just take care of everything IV drips, They also have in North Woodmere an amazing urgent care that you can go to anytime. You message them, you say, hey, I'm really not feeling good. I recently, to be honest, I had COVID not too long ago, and I messaged Adina at Blue Glove. I had a telehealth meeting with her, and she gave me exactly what I needed. Blue Glove Concierge are the people that you need in your corner. So book them today, whether it's for the drips or you need an urgent care that you need to see. Hit the link in the show notes of this episode, message them on WhatsApp, and you'll thank me later. So you're closing on some real estate, whether it's a $120 million deal or a $2 million house, a $500,000 house. One thing that you need to make sure that is taken care of is title. Usually it's one of those things at the end of the process. You're at the closing and title is there, making sure everything is the way it's supposed to be. And the last thing that you want is a Baba Maisa, is a novel, is a story. No more of that. I've seen their amazing ads actually in different magazines and newspapers from ILS. No more stories, no more novels. You need the people that you can trust in your corner, and that is my friends at Infinity Land Services. So whether you're closing on real estate that is in the millions and millions, or you're buying your first home, you make sure you tell your real estate agent, hey, I want to use ILS Title. And they'll say, oh, okay, no problem. How do I reach them? ilstitle.com. That is ilstitle.com. Hit the link in the show notes and the description of this episode and get started. You might be in the process of buying a home right now, and you're listening to this and you're like, well, I don't really know much about title. Well, perfect. Make sure you use ILS and you won't have to know any more than that. And while you're buying that new home of yours, something that you need that's quite important inside. Yes, you guessed it. Appliances. Now, who do we head to for our appliances? Say it with me in the back, kids. That is Town Appliance. Ever since 1979, they have been the number one appliance store in the Jewish world. In the world, really, but in the Jewish world specifically, because they understand your needs. They understand the needs of the Jewish community, of the frum community, with Yom Tov coming up, when the deadlines you have and what you need done. That is Town Appliance. You hit the link in the show notes in the description of this episode. Make sure to reach out to them today. Say, hey, I heard from my friends and meaningful people that you are the number one guys to go to. And they'll say, we indeed are number one. Head to their website. Tons of sales going on for new appliances, whether it's refrigerator, dishwasher, new construction items that you can put in your kitchen, in your backyard, wherever it is. It starts at townappliance.com. Now back to this episode. You mentioned that she needs to keep the faith. Now, faith is a tricky thing, emunah. Mm-hmm. In this moment of what you and your family are going through, what role does that play for you? What role does faith play in this whole entire situation?
A very big one. I mean, first of all, my husband, he became religious 3 years ago. Wow. So this is the main things that help him to get through all this situation. I mean, I'm saying I said a lot of times that God prepared him to this day. I mean, the fact that he became religious. I mean, if he wasn't religious, I think he was in a mad place. He really couldn't go through it. And me, I became a little religious in that, since the October 7th, I keep the Shabbat, and I'm reading Tehillim every day, and Birkot HaShachar. It's okay to say it in Hebrew? You understand the meaning, right?
That much we understand.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to hold it, in the faith, that God will help us to get through it and to bring her home, Daniela and everyone. And it's very helpful.
Yeah, I imagine it's so painful what you have to go through on a daily basis, and the news cycle is constantly changing. Even today, there's news that Israel had killed an awful
Ismail
person.
Haniyeh.
Yeah. And then you have stuff going on in the north, and how for the Jews in America, for the vast majority of people listening to this program, the people here in America, the religious Jews, what message do you want to say to them?
First of all, I want to thank them. I mean, I get a lot of phone calls and a lot of love. The people in the US, all around the world. I mean, not just in the US. All, Am Israel is together when something like this happening to us. I'm sure every one of you feel it in his heart, in his body, that one of our people is taken there and is being held by this terrorist. It's painful for every one of you. And I can feel it also. I feel all the loving and hugging. And I thank you for that. I can ask you a few things, if I may. First of all, I know that every one of you has the power to make it happen. America, that USA can, make pressure more of Israel and Hamas, Hamas through Qatar, to do this deal. I mean, to make it happen, to sign this deal that will bring us back all our children and the fathers and everyone that is held there. So this is the first thing. The second one, as I told you about the Hostages Families Forum, it's a very important organization that support us, the families, to get through this period. We are doing a lot of things with this forum. And if you can, donate, every one of you, something, I mean, not a lot of money, but even $1 to this forum, it will be good thing, so we can continue doing our struggle to bring them home.
All of us, we need to continue to pray for your daughter. What's the name that we can daven for right now?
The name?
Yeah, Daniela Bat Orly. This is the name for praying. Yes, of course. This is the most important asking that I can ask from you, every one of you, to ask and to pray for her coming today home with good health, mental and physical. I know that a lot of you are doing it already. Praying in Shabbat, lighting the candles in Friday. Just keep doing it. There was a story by the Colel that a woman came over to you. Can you tell me what that story is?
Yeah. In October 7th, when I assumed that my daughter is not alive, after we understood that the whole base was taken by the Israeli, by the IDF, and I didn't hear from my daughter, so I was for sure that my daughter is not alive. And then I talked to God and told him, God, if she's alive, if you bring her alive, so I'll start to make to keep my how we say it, nida?
Taharat HaMishpacha.
Taharat HaMishpacha, yeah. And why I thought about it, because I remember in those very hard moments, I just remembered this woman that came to me when we were in the Colel a few days before. And she told me, and she asked me, are you married? I told her, yes, of course. And I was with my two daughters, Daniela and Noam. And she asked me, do you keep Taharat HaMishpacha? And I told her, no. And then she told me, you must do it because it keeps safe your daughters and your family when you do it.
And this is before October 7th.
It's before. It's few days before. I mean,
wow.
Something around 4 days before. And I just remember her words in these horrible moments. And, in those moments, I just talk to God and, ask him to make Daniela alive, and then I will keep it. And I'm doing it.
Wow. Wow, amazing.
Yes.
That's incredible. Yes. That's incredible. Do you know who that woman is? Did you see her since?
No. In the Kotel, there are a lot of, it's not the first time that one of these women come to, every woman that is near the Kotel, someone of these women, it's reaching to her. I mean, really? With praying and, with a lot of books, praying books and, everything. But this woman, I don't know, it was very, her words were very, strong. So I just remember it.
Yeah. Amazing. I want to thank Chedva for making this connection, of course. So one more thing I want to ask you, which I'm just blown away by, is that there's so much negativity that you can be feeling, and I'm sure there is a lot that you are feeling, but over the last hour, you're choosing to be positive, and it seems like throughout this ordeal, you're choosing to be positive. Whether it's with government, whether it's with the current situation you're going through, any parent that their daughter is not with them for hundreds of days, how are you, Orly, how are you staying positive? How are you staying sane?
I'm a very practical woman. I mean, before the October 7th and even after. And I understand that if I just, lying, tell myself why it's happened, why my daughter is there, and, to be in dark thoughts, it won't be helpful. I mean, I know that every morning I wake up and I know that I'm going to struggle for my daughter, and we are, every minute of my day is it's for this. I mean, and this is what helping me to get through all this time, and a lot of denying. It's something that I must use. Because if I think about my daughter, what she's going through every minute, I can't be active. I can't do anything. So I prefer not to think about, or not to see videos. Like I told you, I'm preferring not to see videos of her before the 7th of October, and of course after. This video that Hamas released on January, I saw it only once because it's very hard for me, and I'm doing things that I know that can help me, not things that make me be weak. So this is how I getting through this madness.
Thank you so much, Orly. I really hope the next time me and you speak is with your daughter sitting next to you. Bikar of Mamish today, tomorrow. It should be very, very soon. We'll dance by her wedding, and it'll be a time of tremendous simcha. This whole ordeal started on Simchas Torah, and God willing, this Simchas Torah that we're coming to in October will be one of true simcha, of real happiness with the unition of your family being united again.
Be'ezrat Hashem.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone who listened or watched this episode of the podcast. I can't thank you enough. And, it was a hard one to record. I'm not going to lie. Speaking to Orly, someone who is holding on to her faith, who has taken on so many mitzvahs since October 7th, all in schus, that her daughter comes home. And we know that she has now a chassan who's waiting for her at home. A chassan who's waiting to get married. And Mirz Hashem, the whole meaningful people, family, meaningful men of the world will celebrate at that chasana. Bikar of Mamish. Thank you, Orly. Thank you, Chedva, for making this happen. But thank you, Orly, for coming on to this podcast and showing us the strength you have and showing us the emuna pshuta that you have. It's really, really inspirational and appreciated. want to let you all know that yes, a new episode of Stories of Hope is coming out this Sunday night. You don't want to miss that. You guys made it the #1 episode to listen to in the entire world. Yes, Meaningful People now is #2 for now. We'll get you back, Tipora. But Stories of Hope is coming out with a new episode. Make sure to search on YouTube, Stories of Hope, Tipora Grudko, or on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere you listen to your podcast, Meaningful Minute app. Make sure you listen to Stories of Hope. I want to mention as well, we are revamping our content here at Pause platform, the mental health wing of Meaningful Minute. We are recording a ton of content with Mordechai Weimager and different clinicians at Serenity. It's an amazing therapy clinic in the Muncie area that take most forms of insurance. It's really amazing what they do. I've been in their facility. Make sure you hit the link below and subscribe to Pause on WhatsApp. And also search on Apple, Spotify, Pause Podcast, and you will find, we just put out an episode not too long ago about your kid. If they're homesick in camp, what do you do about that? Well, we have those answers for you. So make sure to hit that link in the show notes in the description of this episode. A big thank you to Serenity and the Friedler family for powering Pause. And we have a lot more content coming your way. And of course, another episode of Meaningful People coming your way next week. So stay tuned for that. Have a great week, everybody.